am I going to talk about? Is cultural communication. What is culture? Why is it important? And how do we understand it? Culture encompasses a group's language, religion, cuisine, social habits, music, and arts. It can also include a group's behaviors and interactions, as well as its understanding of the world, which is shaped by society. Culture is a strong part of people's lives. It influences their views, their values, their humor, their hopes, their loyalties, and their worries and fears. So when you're working with people and building relationships with them, it has to have some perspective and understanding of their cultures. So culture is really hard to understand. It's like an iceberg. The portion, which is visible above water, is only a small piece of a much larger whole. Similarly, people often think of culture as the numerous observable characteristics of a group that we can see with our eyes. To know more clearly about the culture in the world, let's see an example. Imagine this situation in a neighborhood. At A's house, the girls like to sing every day until late at night. This really annoys her neighbor, Mr. B. One day, he talks to her mother. This situation is an example for hostess dimensions, which help us to solve with cultural problems. These include high versus low context, power distance, individualism versus collectivism, masculinity versus femininity, uncertainty avoidance, and immediacy. In the high-context communication, many things are left unsaid, allowing the cultures to explain why things are explicit by communicators in the low-context communication. Power distance is people belonging to a specific culture view power relationships between people. Individualism depends on values of freedom and independence, while collectivism depends on group harmony and consensus. Masculinity has traits that are categorized as male, such as strength, dominance, assertiveness, and egotism. And femininity have conventional traits such as being supportive, caring, and relationship-oriented. Uncertainty avoidance is a state wherein outcomes and conditions are unknown or unpredictable. And the last one is immediacy. It is the extent of closeness to which members of a society have when communicating.
The Westerners respect the directness, while the Easterners focus on its ingenuity and indirectness. The Westerners heighten their ego, personality, and ability, while the Easterners assert collectivity.
Being on time is the important factor in any meeting in the West, but the Easterners is different. They can shift the time and it's no problem. In the West, the boss is also like other people, but in the East, the boss is considered the huge person. The Westerners express their feelings very easily, but the Easterners can have different feelings inside. When they run into a problem, the Westerners usually face with it, and the Easterners will avoid it, although it may take a long way.
The Westerners see the Easterners with conical hats, eating grapes and drink tea, while the Easterners see with married, short skirts and drinking beer.